Happy to see all of you here. We have a very packed team meeting. We have a lot of content, so we'll get started and move along quickly. On-time trivia. Who knows what the question is going to be about?
Repsy.
Correct. Yes. What section of the No. You might. What section of the Repsy deals with agency? Who represents who?
5.
7. I said 7.
Oh,
is it 5?
Or how do you know?
It's 5. Section 5. I feel like Corey better know that.
He won $250 on the football game, so.
He's lucky. He's very lucky. No, it's also rigged. Anyway, I think it was rigged. If you are a new agent or a guest, will you stand and introduce yourself? Cameron, I'm gonna start with you.
So this is Janae, everybody. She is in our team, director of operations, so be nice to her.
She's my friend too.
She's very nice. Be
Yeah.
nice to her. She's never
Great, so
spent.
she's already gotten to know a couple of you, but come say hello. We'll get you.
Yeah, welcome. Happy to have you today.
And I see Brittany back there. We haven't seen you in a while. Hi.
Oh.
Thanks for coming. You're welcome.
The better half of Joe Black. Nice to see you again.
And Mona Stevens.
I'm still an active license.
And Mona's going to be talking to us in just a bit, so.
Retirement.
All right, well, let's move on to some bucket filling. Who has some gratitude to express?
Hey, I want to thank the agents who came for the events committee starting that we had a couple weeks ago.
All two of us?
All 2 of you. So if anyone wants to help the events committee, you are welcome to come. It's going to be a great time, and thank you, Lisa. And I don't see.
Do you guys have any idea what your first event's gonna be?
We do. Can I tell now?
Sure.
So, we are going to do a vendor appreciation wind down. So it'll be a networking event, a chance for the vendors to come. Erica's working with the vendors, and we will work to make sure the vendors are here. You can come, and we're going to bring back the wind downs.
Cool.
So March 11th.
March 11th, yep. Thanks for doing that, Marita. I appreciate it. Linda?
I want to thank Tamara for hosting an amazing mastermind last week. There's a lot of combining ideas and kind of figuring out what's going on and how to win. And that's pretty nice.
Thank you, Tamara. Rachel?
I was here pretty late last night and Marita was meeting with a client. And not only was she very supportive of me for being here late, she was very kind. And that client's dog had a little bit of an accident on the front road.
Oh.
And Marita could have just,
Oh, boy.
ignored it, but she stopped and helped clean it up. Well, she did it all, actually. She cleaned it all up. And I just was so appreciative of that. Thank you.
But I did not leave it for you.
Well, I mean, because it would have been easy to just, because it was on the road, not on the floor. It would have been easy to like,
We are grateful for the cleanup of that. Oh, boy. Anyone else?
I just want to share gratitude with Rachel. She took a lot of time yesterday afternoon to find resources for me on the recruiting front, and that we have tools here that I had no idea were available, and she took the time to show me what they were, how they worked. I was nerding out over them last night at home, but I know how busy you are, and you took a lot of time with me impromptu note, and thank you. She doesn't normally do that, don't get the idea.
I love being available for you. That's what I'm here for.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Corey Miner and Broker Dave just for being like a big part of the backbone of the office. I was helping out and Black was doing knocking the other day and crushed it.
Oh, awesome. That's great. Thanks, Dan. I'm going to thank Mark Robinette for giving me a rose yesterday and Phoenix for giving me a box of chocolates.
Aww.
You made my day.
Teacher's pet.
All right, we got everybody. Let's move on to our cultural icons. And Rick and Marita, that's you. Come on up. Hope everyone's been nice to you all week.
Okay, nice to her. Exactly.
Okay, so really hard because I think there are so many great examples of Keller Williams culture in our office. We want to give this to someone who is an unsung hero. We all have a lot of admin and people that work behind us to help us get where we're trying to get with our goals and accomplishments. But we have someone particularly on our team who's extremely helpful, jumps in and helps out anywhere she can, and follows in the footsteps of all the amazing showing partners ahead of her. And Jackie Rojas hates attention.
I'm not crying, I was just choking.
Congratulations.
When I stepped it. You know, this last week's really been kind of a fun week. I'm gonna go old school here. There was a company, it used to be in business here. They're not anymore. They were a disruptor at the time. They were called Fidelity. And Fidelity was actually, you would actually, if you wanted to list your house, if I was the seller, I wanted to list the house and I wanted to do it cheap, I could just go onto their website and fill in the MLS form, swipe the card, do $395 and then publish to the MLS. How many of us would like to deal with a company like that? Exactly. They were a disruptor. We all hated them. There are other disruptors out there. Okay, there are other disruptors out there. And we seem to hate them. There's a company, we'll call them Homely. And I have nothing against them, and I'm not gonna sit here and talk bad about it, but I hear, oh, we got another Homely, whatever, listening, okay? Why don't we like working with them?
Because never hear, we can't get a hold of them.
Okay, so the professionalism,
Communication.
okay, communication, what's that?
They never answer phone calls.
They never return phones. So professionalism, why else?
They don't fadoosh very good. I will give Justin Kuchar credit for that word.
You know, what's funny, Ben's over there going, don't get me going.
You guys are looking at it wrong. I love working with those guys.
I know.
I mean,
I've
the
found
whole
some
reason
stuff.
is why I like working with those guys, because they suck. That's an opportunity to make yourself look that much better.
Turn the recording off. No. The reason I'm saying that, and guys, don't get me wrong. When it first started, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm only getting offered 1%, or I'm only getting whatever. And we had this negative thing. We hadn't even gotten the opportunity to find out they don't return phone calls or whatever. We had this issue about the commission, okay? What you do in your reputation out here, you need to get into those conversations in order to create the professionalism that we are. And there's just a lot of things going on right now where it seems like our industry is racing to the bottom of fees being paid. And that generally comes from a listing brokerage that can't explain how our market runs. Does that make sense? Okay. So I go in there and Phoenix, how much do you charge to list the property?
It's the wrong person.
He says 6%. You're correct. Commissions are negotiable. Your fee based on 6%, right? It's a $500,000 house. What are you going to do for me that's $30,000 worth?
Ask Hannah.
Seriously, that's going to be a question. I mean, we've got agents that are going out on the first listing presentation and he's going to say, I charge 6%. If they came back to you and said, what are you going to do for me for 6%? What are you going to do for me?
Deliver discount.
Guys, that's your value proposition. Why do you charge? I mean, I didn't have a problem with Fidelity. I don't have a problem with Homely. They tell you right up front, we're only going to charge you this, but we're only going to do this. Okay? I mean, it's free market. I'm not going to do anything but put it across the MLS, and I'm only going to charge you this. Now you go over there and you say, well, there's no way I can do it because I do this and this and this and this and this. And you have to create the value in what it is you do for the fee that you're going to charge them, right? Okay, so let's talk a 6% commission, for example, or an 8% commission. People are going, what's an 8%? Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I make the same either way. Commissioners are negotiable, we generally go 6 to 8%. The reason I go 8%, and I would suggest that you do as well, I'm gonna make the same thing. But I'm going to offer an incentive to all those other buyer's agents out there just to take them by your property for your benefit. Let's offer more to the buyer's agents out there to try to get more showings. And by more showings, I mean, get you better offers and increase your net. It's for your benefit, right? But right now, it seems like what we're doing is saying, oh, well, the seller rolled over and they only wanted to list it at 4, so I'm gonna only offer 2 to the other side. Is that helping your seller? It's saving them 1%, but possibly a whole bunch of offers. And those offers create the auction, which is gonna net them more, right? Can you internalize and can you explain that to your seller? What are you gonna do for $30,000, Phoenix?
Yeah.
Like a car.
What are you gonna do for the $30,000? Guys, your value proposition is everything. And if you can internalize that and present it to your sellers, it's going to create a more professional relationship. You're going to be able to offer something more incentive related to all the buyer's agents. They're going to want to do business with you, and they're not gonna think you're a homely. Okay? Right now, Ben just said he likes them. Not necessarily because he can point out that's a negative. We know Ben's not negative. But Ben has come to me saying, man, they priced this property so low, my buyers get a better deal, okay? But they're only charging X, the sellers are getting what they're paying for, right? And I'm just saying, guys, right now, we've got some people, don't race your competition to the bottom. If you are absolutely offering a top quality service, you understand the value proposition, you understand why you can justify a 3% listing site and why it's a benefit to the seller to offer an incentive, not cut the throat of buyer's agents. Guys, you're going to create the reputation that Keller Williams Salt Lake City already has. We are a professional organization. Understand why we are. Understand why you're charging what you're charging. Okay, that's all I got.
Thank you, Dave. Panel is on that very thing in just a few minutes, but until then, Nook and Cranny, so come on up
Thank you.
and tell us what you got.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ashlyn with Nook and Cranny Inspections. I don't think I've met most of you, but I'll be here and we'll also have Athena coming as well. I don't know, have any of you guys heard of us? Who hasn't heard of us? Everybody knows it. We do inspections. We also do met testing, radon testing, sewer scopes, and VA termite inspections as well. We are just branched up into Southern Idaho, so we now cover Southern Idaho all the way down to St. George. We have inspectors all throughout the state of Utah. Excuse me, Utah. Right now, I believe we have 6 inspectors with 3 coming up pretty soon. They're in training. They're almost done. So we have the capacity to get you guys in as soon as possible to get to your buyers into that due diligence time frame. Is there any questions I can answer for you guys? I don't want to take up too much of your time, but
you guys have supported us for over a decade.
yeah, we have been around for a while. We've been in business for 25 years. So we're really excited about that. I've personally been here for 5 of those years and I love the company. It's a very family oriented company. We love doing events with you guys. We just love being involved. We can be. Yes.
What's your scheduling like right now on scheduling out inspections?
I think right now we're about 48 hours, depending on schedules. I think last time I checked, which was yesterday, I think we had availability at the end of the week. We also do Saturday inspections as well.
Questions? Well, you'll stick around after me.
Yes.
You brought us lunch,
Lunch
so
for you guys.
thank you so much.
Of course, thank you for your time.
Talk to us about awards quickly.
We've got so much value for you today, speaking of, and I want to give as much time to the panel as possible. And we still want to celebrate all of you who had a great month in January. So we had 4 people cap in January. And Tamara, you reset only in December and then capped in January, so congratulations, that's exciting. One of our faster cappers. And then we also like to celebrate people who had their first either listing or closing, and for a couple months, we didn't have anybody who had their first listing, so this is great. I love seeing this. 2 of our agents had their first listing with us. And Dylan Fitzgerald has his first closing, congratulations. And then, excuse me, these are all of our agents at $1 million a month, and I can tell you, so Addison normally processes, anywhere between 170 and 220-ish closings in a given month. And in January, we had a bit of a lull. It was an interesting month, barely over 100 transactions. And so for this many people, out of that 100 transactions, to have over $1 million in closed volume is pretty incredible. So congratulations to our, so sorry everybody, I'm still recovering. I've got this weird cough. COVID. And well, it was COVID, it's not anymore. I mean, anyway. And Coach Dave isn't here to help me, but, and then home runs. So who can remind me what a home run is? I mean, I know it's listed up there, but don't read. Okay, and how do I know if you have a written contract?
Put it in command.
Yes.
Send it to Corey.
Send it to Corey. Ori's Corey, and he's there for you. So something that we are really going to be, Addison is going to be helping with this year. And I know that this transition to command in the last couple of years changed. Some of you had really good rhythm, and then we threw this new system at you, and we've been asking you to learn new things. And so it's been fun. And we're gonna have some incentives for people getting their contracts in early. So keep an eye out for that. We're gonna maybe give away some fun prizes. And commissions, because you do have to have that in order to get paid. All right. And then one of the other things we really like to highlight is people who've had a great year. Now, January is always a little bit strange because it's 1 month, so the January and the year to date are all the same. So we're, it's all gonna be the same numbers for both categories. But Clayton Fulmer, and his name has been on this list for the last several months in a row. I know he's taking a really active role on the team and the way he supports the steering team. So congratulations to Clayton. Spots at 5,000%. And it's in second place. I'm really curious as to who beat Russ. Oh yeah, boy.
Well, it's his office.
Yeah, I guess he's like, yeah, right. And then units, Emily Brace on the steering team, 430%. Congratulations, Emily. She's been on the team just a little over a year. That's exciting. Clayton Fulmer, 550, and my guess is Russ is at the top there. So congratulations to our growth leaders for January, and I'm just gonna scroll real quick through, these are all gonna be the same. All right, and then we have 3 categories that we celebrate. Individual agents, so they might have an admin, but they do business completely on their own. And we have teams, which are 2 producing agents, and possibly some admins. And then groups, which are larger, they frequently are named teams, but in our vernacular for awards, they're called groups. So for listings taken for top individual agents. Oh, well, I just scrolled right through that. So Jackie, Kingston, and Central Islands had 2 each. Shad almost had 4. And Shad does a lot of commercial. Are those commercial? Is he in the room? I can't say. That's a lot of commercial activity. That's pretty exciting. And then Chance Carlton, 6.
Who's Chance Carlton? Who is that?
Yeah, so Chance is an agent who just kind of flies under the radar, who does a handful of deals, but I'm pretty sure this was like a kind of like a multifamily. Oh. They're all listed separately. Closed volume, Shad had 1.8 million. Sabrina, 2.1. And Mike Gable just edged her out at 2.2. So congratulations to those volume leaders. And the units are usually pretty close, but we had a whole bunch of agents, gosh, 6 people with 2 closings each in 3rd place. Kelton, oh yeah, 2.34. Good thing we got that 0.34 for Kelton. Put him in 2nd. And then Hari and Jen Bowen, the 3 each, so congratulations to our individual agents. And then teams, so again, we've had some movement. Burnside was a group and then they were a team and now they're gonna be a group again. And so sometimes there's some movement back and forth. But. No, so BB sold and then we used to see Kelly and Mona's name up here all the time together, and now Scott and Kelly are working together so that Mona can be retired and live an amazing life. And they took 2 each for closed volume. Maria Favero, 5.5 million. Burnside team just barely beat them out, 5.6. And the one group, 8.5. So usually the units match up pretty closely. BB sold 2.5. Burnside team not quite 9. And the one, oh man.
How did we get
out?
It's happening right there.
Taking the month off.
All right, and then for groups. I had as a whole office for the month.
122.
Yeah, it was like 50, I can't remember exactly, it was in the 50s, so almost, the search took almost half of our listings for the whole office, so grateful for their hard work and congratulations for their performance. Closed volume, dynamic, 243,000.
Thanks, Dylan.
That was Dylan's closing. Heat maps and team 1.8. And, oh yeah, no big deal, starting 14 million in January, congratulations. And then for units, Heat Mats and team had 332 out of our 104. So Stern team was a third of our office's closings for the month. So congratulations, Stern team, really excited to see you guys are accomplishing. Sorry, everybody. All right, something else we're gonna start doing is everybody's birthdays. So we've been posting on Facebook, happy birthday to everybody. These are our February birthdays, and in celebration, we have cake for after team meeting today. And it's a really beautiful cake with color schemes that are just, they just
It's the
pop.
ugliest cake I've ever
No,
seen.
stop it. So happy birthday to everybody in February. And then that's not a typo, Shauna.
Do better in April.
You were Caroline's baby that started with us, right?
17 years.
Whoa.
You were 16 when you started?
Yeah, you'll get your gift card later, Shane. And then our agent of the month. So you just might not know this, but in addition to being a leader in our office, he is also on the side, which is like taking up a whole bunch of time. He is helping with our affiliated businesses, which is bringing a ton of value to you and your clients. And so we are really grateful that Rich has stepped up and done that. It has, I know it's been a lot of extra work for you, and we are grateful, Rich. So thank you, and we're proud to be in business with you. And then we're adding an award this year as well. We're gonna be celebrating the Rookie of the Month. And this month's rookie is Sydney. She's not with us today. She's probably out writing letters or knocking doors. The reason she got this is that she really has been so consistent. First, she had just barely started, and she was just willing to do whatever it took, even the things that aren't super fun and comfortable, like Coach Lee sometimes talks about lead genning, and she's younger, so she has, her sphere is maybe not quite as diverse as some other people in the room, and she has just worked it, and we're really proud of Sydney. So congratulations. Great. Well, yep.
Congratulations to everyone. Mike, you can talk to us about training calendar?
Yep, I'm just gonna read from the slide because that's the easiest thing to do. So lots of training going on today. We've got the mechanics lean that happened about an hour ago. So hopefully all you guys went. We were doing Miracle Morning. We're gonna do that at 12:30, simply because we've got the office family reunion piece. So doing that, wait until 12:30. We'll be on there to go through the book club. Tomorrow, open house training, that's being done with Mark. I don't see Mark right here. Oh, there you are. So we're gonna do that tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Tomorrow.
Okay. And then lead generate like the Stern team. So Josh and Kimber are gonna be starting that tomorrow in this room. You're not gonna wanna miss it.
Is it only 1 hour or 2?
It's 11 to 1.
Sure, sure.
We have
Sure.
50.
And you have to sign up for it.
Yeah, it was gonna be a pass
It's an
around.
event break though, isn't it?
Yep, it's
Yes.
an event, right? Yep. So maybe if we can send that out for other
Send it
folks,
out, yeah.
get that out. And then listings with Sean, that's live, that'll be happening again tomorrow. And then you've got your radon CE class that's happening Thursday morning, real estate fundamentals at 11. ALC meeting, that's happening this Thursday at noon. And then new associate class with Delaney's happening on Friday, so. And then next week, family reunion, so we're doing a class, we're doing a get together right after this.
Right after this, and then also for family reunion, the timing is a little bit interesting this year. It's over the weekend, the big days. And so Coach Dave will be in the office on Saturday, live streaming all of the general sessions and some of the breakouts. So if you want to participate in that.
Do you have to pay for that?
No.
Are you guys gonna tell us times?
Yeah, well, so everything will be posted, and anybody who is digital or in-person attending, also make sure you stay after today, and we're gonna go over all the fun stuff about family reunion. And if you didn't get a ticket and you wanna come and watch one of those Saturday, and then also on Monday, he'll be running that in the office.
Cool. Next slide, Miracle Morning. There it is, Mona.
Wow.
12 years ago too. You know what they say about a realtor's picture? Yep. You're never gonna look better. Right, go for it. So I'm here to try to get you to take my class. Will you take my class?
Yes.
Okay,
You're
okay.
crazy if you don't take her class.
I got some numbers for you. I got, let's see, let's put 195, 30. Okay. I'm gonna give you 2 quotes. One is, well, you are the commander of your life. You are the captain of your ship. You and only you are the reason that you are where you are. And you're in a beautiful industry to be able to take you to the places that you want to go. Gives you the freedom, the ability to make a ton of money, which we'll talk about in just a split second, but you're in a great spot. I'm going to read you this one of my favorite quotes from Miracle Morning. According to the Social Security Administration, so number 1, that's you. That's you. Number 95, you've heard this. If you take 100 people at the start of their working careers and follow them for the next 40 years until they reach retirement age, here's what you'll find. 1 will be wealthy. 4 will be financially secure. 5 will continue working not because they want to, but because they have to. 36 will be dead. 54 will be broke and dependent on friends, family, relatives, and the government to take care of them. That's a huge stat. That's 95% of the people that aren't wealthy or aren't financially secure. Why? We'll talk about that in the class that I'm going to teach. It is based a lot on the Miracle Morning, but I also bring in like Think and Grow Rich and another book called The Happiness Advantage and stuff. So it is 30 days because it's 1 class every week. And it really, what we really want, you'll get a ton out of this if you commit to it and if you get involved. You'll get as much out of it as you put in. But it is a great opportunity for, I have to thank Brooke Madsen for turning me onto this book. And I know a lot of you have probably read it. But this is us working through some things together and actually working the pieces of it to put our great mornings together that make a difference. And I'm here to tell you that it made a huge difference because 12 years in the business and I was able to retire in a way that I have an amazing life. Because that last stat is now my golf handicap. That's how good retirement is. That's the number that I'm looking at now. That's my stat. What I'd love to do though is, and I would really appreciate it if you come to the class, because the more the better and the more energy that we have. And I promise you, if you come to the class and if you do what we're doing with it and you commit to it, it will make a difference in your life, in your business, and everything that you want to focus on. Am I right?
You won't take a better class than that one. And she is amazing teaching it.
So I'm only gonna pitch this once because I'm headed to Palm Springs until we start the class. Because it's retired. It's retired. But I would love to have you there to join me.
When does it start?
It starts March 22nd. Yeah, March 22nd for 4 weeks in a row.
And what day of the week is that and what time of the day?
Tuesday, right after team meeting.
Oh, great. So 12 to 1. 12 to 1.
Right on.
Thanks, guys.
We know how honest Teresa is because she just said it's the ugliest cake she's ever seen. You're the best teacher, so.
It's the best
Thank you. Thank you. Can I have my panel come up, please? So I'm not sure if Broker Dave knew. Did you know what this panel was on today? It's so crazy because she just talked about what we're going to talk about, which is reducing commissions and just kind of what is going on right now in this market and with agents. And we've been free about how many years in real estate, Karen, for you? 18 late? 15 April.
Just a baby, only 14.
Just a little underneath. And we really haven't seen anything like this. And it's definitely what's going on. I wanted to chat with the three of you about how you handle reduced commissions, what your conversations with sellers look like. First, I want to talk about a little bit about how you think this is affecting the industry and just kind of overall. And Linda and I've had a lot of conversations about this. Some strong opinions we have here. So Linda, why don't you start?
I think I used the word cannibalism
You
and we
did.
use what,
Prostitution.
prostitution? Yeah, so I took some insight into the feelings there. I think that if we are not conveying our value correctly to our clients, it becomes really easy for the perspective to be, so what, you just open doors and put a sign in my yard? That's like all you do? And that's really easy from like an overview standpoint for companies like Zillow and Amazon and all of these tech disruptor companies to come in and say, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. If you all wanna just open doors and do data entry, we'll give you a salary and do that for you, and people can just buy houses on Amazon. So, I mean, that's the direction that I feel we're headed if we're forgetting to convey our value.
And we're gonna talk a little bit about that too. Lee, you said prostitution. Talk a little bit about that.
No, I think that you often, by virtue of not knowing what to say and not practicing scripts and role playing and getting good at handling the objection of pricing, you prostitute yourself. That's your choice. They will tell you it's your choice. They don't dictate at Keller Williams what your commission will be that you charge. But here's what really bugs me. Marcelo didn't agree to do it for less. Lizzie didn't agree to do it for less. So you all take a commission. Maybe one thing, I have a builder that I do 5% on all of his build jobs. I keep 2, I pay 3. I have never not paid you 3.
Thank you, Lee.
You all think so little of me. Bugs me a lot. So you go prostitute yourself all you want, but don't be messing with me. And don't give our office a bad name because you haven't come to class and learned how to role play your objection handling skills. I mean, I've got Sean in here every single week. Shane, sorry. I am Sean.
She's talking about Sean.
I'm not talking about Shane. Shane picks on you. I do not pick on you. But Shane is in here, or Sean is in here every single week working on your listing presentations. Are you showing up? I'll tell you, you're not. Yet you have no qualms about taking money off my table.
Thank you.
That's how I feel about
Thank
it.
you. I strongly, and I respect that. Cameron, what's your opinion on what's on people reducing commissions and what's happening in the industry right now?
It's history repeating itself. We've always dealt with this. I remember when I first got into business, the company that Dave talked about, Fidelity. So I'm a brand new agent. And I remember starting to prospect and starting to talk to some of the people saying, well, this is what I'm going to list with Fidelity. And they tell me what was going to happen. And I said, I am screwed. I mean, I completely missed the boat. I've come into the business at a time when this company is here and and so we're all done. And I remember having a conversation with my broker at the time who had also been well experienced. And because I was nervous about that. I said, is this kind of the end of the real estate as we know it? And he said, he kind of smiled and he said, no, it's always been around, it's always going to be around. And he said that he was in a room once when Bill Gates told everybody that the internet was going to put the real estate industry out of business. And he said the same thing. He said to himself at that time, I better sell everything, I better move to Mexico, we're done for. And he taught me that this has always been around, it's always going to be around. And we have cannibalization and prostitution, I would say desperation. It's probably the word I would use because people get really freaked out and that leads to bad choices. And those bad choices are, we're going to take whatever we can get because we're not going to stand for ourselves. We're not going to do the things necessary. It's completely within our control, within our power, right? There are countless opportunities and there's so many things. Gary Keller started Keller Williams in the worst time he possibly could have ever started. And so it's a good thing. I look at it as an opportunity to say, let's hone our skills. Let's make sure because this will eventually subside somewhat, right? We're not saying that there aren't disruptors that will influence our industry, but sooner or later, we're going to get back to a different kind of a market. Who knows when that's going to be, but it will eventually happen. This history does repeat itself. So it gives us a chance to say, we're going to be prepared, we're going to be ready. Because when that happens, we're going to go out and get more market share.
You know, it's interesting to me, is when I moved into town, the very first week I went on a property tour, which we used to do, Dave will remember that. There was a help you sell sign stuck in somebody's yard. And the agent I was with, whose name I won't mention because she's still selling, said, oh my gosh, that's a company that does it for I think 1%. Let's go steal their sign. I did not do that. Even my 27-year-old self did not do that. They're not around. I mean, I don't see a sign anymore. I don't think they're around. The next one was all pro. Yeah, they're not around. I mean, you can start going through these, and the reality is those people who choose to take less. And those companies who choose to do less. They don't last.
Well, I mean, you all know the news, what happened with the company that Dave was talking about.
Well, only one fourth or one third of their
30%
people, they just, yeah, they're supposed to have a business.
They claim it's admin people that they let go. No, it's not. No professionally let go. I said they claim.
But they come in, they disrupt for a little bit, and it doesn't, and they don't last, and they go away.
But to speak to Cameron's point, I think that is the definition of desperation, right? Like if you're not confident enough in your own skills and the way that you're articulating your value, it's really easy to throw in the towel and say, oh, well, if they're gonna do it for that, I guess I should match it. But you're doing so much more. And I think you're selling yourself short by not being able to articulate and convey that value to your clients. It's a disservice to your clients if you can't convey your value.
Let's keep talking about that. How do you handle the objection if a seller asks you to reduce your commission? Obviously, you're sitting down with your presentation and you're showing your value, giving your value. And then what if that question comes up? How do you handle that?
Well, I mean, Shona, if you're the seller, so what I'm hearing from you is that you want to make top dollar for your house, correct?
Correct.
So if by implementing my marketing and by getting your home on the market and selling it for top dollar over asking price, is it really commission you're worried about or how much your house is going to sell for?
Woo! How much? What does that look like for you, Lee?
Well, currently, right now, we're in a really great market, Shauna. And honestly, most of the time, sellers are getting about 99% of asking price on average, just outrageously good.
Yes.
Certain team averages 104.2%. of asking price. So really, an additional 4%. I think I'm free.
I like that.
Pay for myself.
Doing the math in my head.
Yep.
I like that. Karen, you.
There's an oldie but goodie with Mike Ferry where he would say, no, any other questions? So I was on a presentation once with a guy who was sitting out interviewing me, and he was asking me a series of questions. And he said, okay, how long do you think it's gonna take to sell? I told him, okay, will you cut your commission? No, I won't. Okay, what do you think I'm gonna get for my house? And that was all it was. That's all he ever brought it up.
It's the bottom line.
So a lot of these people have been told, hey, ask for a discount.
Right, they have.
If you don't ask, you'll never get it, right? So a lot of times, I gotta try it, and you say, nope, I'm not gonna do that. Next question. Oh, okay, well, let's go ahead and sign right here.
Yeah.
So
you-
unbelievable.
It is.
So
It is.
so sometimes we overcomplicate it, and a lot of times they'll say, well, tell me more. And then it's good to use these types of objection answers, but I think sometimes we worry too much about them, and this is too much in our head, so it's just be strong, have a good presentation, because a lot of that will diffuse that objection a lot of times.
I mean, you do the same thing when you're shopping, right? Like, are there any coupons? Is there any discount? Like, you're asking, right? Like, people are conditioned to ask so they feel like they're getting a deal. Even if the answer is no. Okay, next question.
Thanks for asking. Next question.
Well, and one of the things I've made a point for years now is we in the industry have this bad habit of saying, calling them discount brokers. How many in this room belong to either Costco or Sam's Club or Jam? We're big on discounts, guys. So that is not the word you're using. It is a limited service company. They'll only open your doors and they'll charge you X. It's a limited service, not a discount.
Thank you. Let's talk a little bit about the VAC. When you've got a buyer, you put a buyer under contract and that VAC is reduced, how does that conversation look with the listing agent?
I mean, I want to find out why,
Okay.
right? Like, what is the commission agreement? Why is the seller offering only X amount of dollars? Or why is the agent only offering X amount of dollars? You know, this is, come at it from curiosity. There might legitimately be a reason, and that's a conversation you can have with your buyer client if that's the case. More often than not, though, it's the seller's agent just giving it away or splitting it in half or keeping 4 and giving you 2, any number of things, right? So come from curiosity and seek to understand first. And then be willing to have a conversation about what that looks like. What are you bringing to the table as the buyer's agent, and do you deserve to have that commission? And who's gonna pay it?
You know how passionate you are about this. What does that conversation look like for you?
So I don't work with buyers, so I'm on the opposite side of that, but I will tell you what I say to my sellers. And that is that we are gonna offer 3%. Because there is not a single realtor in this county that I don't want them to bring their buyers here. Because the more buyers we have, the higher the price they get. So we are not going to discount or give them a reduction. We're gonna say, come on, bring it on.
I've heard a question, but what might be in some people's minds or thoughts as to what's gonna happen, because I hear this a lot. Like, what would you say if someone says, well, there's so many buyers and agents out there that are desperate for this kind of thing, doesn't really matter what we're gonna do, because we're gonna get 20 offers, right? So how would you respond to that?
So again, if I get one offer, it's all with that. If I've got 3 or 4 offers, we can go here. But if I can get you 20 offers or 13 offers, or last week, which I think was 42 offers. What do you think that does to your pocket? It puts more money in your pocket. That's all you and I care about, right?
Yeah.
Then let's do this.
It's done a few times.
Absolutely. And I want your opinions on what you see in terms of the market, when you think things are gonna change. What we need is more inventory, obviously. So
Where's your crystal ball?
Wait, tell us.
It's cracked and cloudy. I say that also to my clients, it's cracked and cloudy. I don't think we're gonna see a change this year. If they're expecting a 10 to 12% appreciation, we were talking just in our Stern Team meeting this morning about the limits of how few listings. We need to be getting more and more and more listings, and what conversations we're gonna be having with our database about trying to do that. As long as we have the low counts on inventory, it's not going to change. And even with our builders are not building 15 houses. They could, but they're not. They're building, I mean, a lot of builders I've talked to, they're due 10 houses a month, that's it, they've drawn a line in the sand and said, that's all we're gonna do, and that's even with the clauses built in to do some price changes if materials have gone up. They've got to have to get smart quickly about that, so they're not losing their shirts.
So why is that, Lee? Why are the builders only doing 10 instead of 15?
I think the biggest reason is probably simply that material costs are so unreliable right now.
And
Oh.
labor, and
That
labor.
labor, all of that, that putting themselves out there, yes, and Marita brings up a good point. You can't have 40 houses that you're working on, because there are not enough tradespeople out there.
Yeah.
By the way, if you have any teenage children, they should all go into trades. Because all the tradespeople.
Don't go
are
to
retired.
college.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, but the reality is so many of the tradespeople are retiring.
Yes.
Plumbers, electricians, all of these, they're now getting older and there is not that youth coming in. And so Marita's exactly right. A big part of that is the trades issue.
Go ahead, Kevin.
No, I would say it's a big question mark and it's gonna take some time, but again, it's hard. I think sometimes we focus so much about when is this gonna end, what's gonna happen, we don't spend as much time in the now.
Yeah, how do I
Saying,
deal with it?
who cares?
Yeah.
Just focus
Yeah.
on
It
what's
is what
happening
we
now.
have to do
Yeah.
And deal with it.
Get good at what you need to get good at right now.
right now. I want to open up for some questions. I want to ask you right now, for each of you, what does a call look like to your SOI in terms of the market or opportunity? Cameron, you can start.
Well, I think Lee is somewhat alluded to this. I think talking to people, I've had a couple of conversations in the last year with clients and helping them understand, saying that we are seeing we're having things happen in our market that's never happened before. And it's helping impress upon them the shortage of inventory, but also the opportunity that they might have. There was one individual that we sold a house for last year, and we started having a conversation, and I said, what would it take for you to sell your house? And he kind of just jokingly said X. I said, okay, if you get X, you sell your house? And he said, yeah, and I looked it up and he could, and he sold it for more than what he wanted at that time. So I think a lot of people they hear prices are going up, but they don't connect that sometimes with their own house and what opportunity could. So I think anybody, you could ask them and say, what do you think your house could be worth? And this is a really good chance for us, an opportunity for us to practice our trade and to say, hey, would you like a free market analysis on your house? I mean, would you be surprised at what your house is going to get, even if you don't sell it? Because that helps us provide value to them and connecting with them and giving that information. And worst case scenarios, you do some practice on it and you provide value. Best case scenarios, you get a sell.
I love that. Lee, what about you?
Two things. One, Jen brought it up today in team meeting, in our start team meeting. The comment was, I'm calling all of my people that I closed the house 2, 3, and 4 years ago and just saying to them, I think we need to look at how much your house has gone up. You were so smart to buy when you bought, that it may be time to move up. And this would be a good time to do it because the tax, tax,
Assessment.
no, not the assessment, the tax law that you pay taxes.
Oh,
capital gains.
Thank you.
Capital
Yeah, the capital gains is up in 2 years, so we're good on that. But a lot of those people were buying starter homes.
Yeah.
And they've now had baby number 2, and it's time to move up. So that would be one thing I would be having in conversation. Lizzie and I role played this one last week. My conversations with my SNI right now are calling them and just saying, hey, congratulations, Lizzie. I wanted to share with you, your windfall of wealth this last year was 27% on
What?
average on your house. That's how much your house appreciated.
On my house?
On your house, that's like a savings, built-in savings plan.
That's amazing.
And so that's really exciting. The other great news, being a homeowner, is that this year they expect it to go up another 10 to 12%. Let me tell you who's having the challenge, those people who are thinking about buying. So trying to keep up with that flow. When you go to sell your house, however far in the future that is, are you gonna be upsizing or downsizing when that happens?
Upsizing.
Okay, then we need to talk right now, because if it went up 27%, your house at this price, the house you're gonna buy is more expensive. That one's gonna go up more, and this year it's gonna go up another 10 to 12%. So I don't know when you were thinking about doing your upsizing, but between that and the fact that they're gonna raise rates 6 times this year, 6 times. Please make sure you know that new number, 6 times this year. It may be time for us to talk about the upsizing. If she had said to me she's downsizing, a lot of my clients are at my age doing the downsizing, then honestly, you can stay in your house if that's where you want to be. You'll be okay, because the house you're buying will probably be less, won't go up as much. So the ones I'm really trying to target are those that are upsizing.
Yeah, I
Which
think
is most
understanding that
people.
math and showing them, because I've even talked to some people and they're like, oh, my back of the math says that I'll be paying double, and I'm like, your math is wrong.
Yeah,
Let me walk you through it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what, maybe I'm the only one, but I'm getting robo texts about this
All the time.
very thing. So you don't want it to be that your client responded to one of those texts instead of you calling them about this very things. There are people out there with this message. I get them all the time, but luckily I have you all.
Thank you. Linda,
So mine's similar to what Lee's doing, and the people that are telling me, no, we're in our forever home, we're gonna stay here forever. That's great. So how are you leveraging the equity in your home to build more wealth? So these are a lot of questions about investment properties, what their goals are for retirement, what it looks like for them in the future, and then putting the numbers together. So I'm having a lot of really dynamic conversations with people about wealth building because it's such an opportunity.
and these are all conversations from the expert. You make yourself the expert. That's what we always do. So, and this is actionable stuff for our agents to pick up the phone and do so. Thank you. We got time for a couple of questions for these guys before we let them go. Who has one?
Can I just make a comment?
Sure.
I've been showing a lot of houses and looking a lot online because I've worked with buyers. And everybody disses homey. And I've shown more 2.5% homies than I have full service brokerage. But most of the 2% and less that I've seen, BAC, has been the Keller Williams, the equities, the Coldwell Bankers. So just
The
keep
camels,
that.
and
And Keller Williams, Salt Lake City.
Hence the value
Yes.
proposition.
No, we noticed it. That's
That's why
why
we're together.
both of us said, yeah, talked to Shauna about the fact that, holy cow, in our own office,
Yeah.
you all are making the rest of us look really bad.
Well, and I'm older, so I'm not gonna be in the business, for a really long time. But you young people who are gonna be in the business a really long time, the 2% and less are doing you a disservice, because if they bring that down, you're gonna live with that for the rest of your life.
That's the risk. Yep.
So
Dave?
one of the things that
same.
we've been doing is we've been calling the agents and thanking them after a showing if they offer 3%. And say, hey, as a professional agent to another professional agent, thank you so much for offering 3%.
Right.
BAC.
And come to our next team meeting.
That'll be
That'd be a
next.
good follow-up.
Is
Thank you,
that like
Shane.
we should call the ones that are doing 2% and?
What are you doing?
Well, I talked to a friend of mine the other day who she used to be in our office, and she's like, well, I'm gonna be one of those 1.5% BACs pretty soon, because that's what I have to give them. I have to let them charge them just 3%, both sides, in order for them not to go to home.
If you come back here.
Sounds like an opportunity.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna end on Dave here.
1.5%.
Yeah, just a couple of things. Number one, this right here is worth the price of admission. Just gotta say that.
Free?
You know.
We're not paying you,
Guys,
Linda.
if you're not internalizing what these guys are saying and in your brain practicing the scripts that they just roll off their tongues, you're missing it, number one. In the absence of value, price is a consideration. And anytime you're talking to somebody and you were talking a downward price on what you normally charge, there's a value problem that you're having. If price is the objection, value is what you're having a problem with, not the price, and you can race it down to the bottom, or you can increase your value. Let me just read this real quick. I've read it before, but price should not be the only consideration. There's hardly anything in the world that some man cannot make a little worse or sell a little cheaper. And the people who consider price are only this man's lawful prey. It's unwise to pay too little. When you pay too much, you lose a little money. That's all. When you pay too little, you sometimes lose everything because the thing you bought was incapable of doing the thing it was bought to do. The common law of business balance prohibits paying a little and getting a lot. It can't be done. If you deal with the lowest bidder, it is well to add something for the risk you run. And if you do that, you will have enough to pay for something better.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just have a question on Zoom from Kristen Packer. So how do I handle working with a builder agent who has told my client they're way better off without a realtor, offering 2% VAC, and now freezing us out on giving information on newly available lots?
Oh, yeah. Anybody want to answer that?
So was
Seriously,
it,
call Burford.
was the objection, what is happening if the builder's?
The builder's
agent
saying you'd be better off
is saying
without
that he's an agent?
an agent to the
I mean, I would call him the suspect a little bit, where are you getting your information, and what do you think that's led by? I mean, it's a real big, Liz had this conversation a number of times, and saying, okay, just think about what's happening here, that agent is asking you to work with that agent, and who does that agent work for, who's signing that check for
They
that
don't
agent?
realize that. You have to actually play it out.
So-
They're not representing.
So here's the problem, I've heard a number of times where somebody has been in that situation, and they got screwed because the agent said, I'm not gonna go shake the tree of the person who's writing my check and giving me the next 20 listings. I mean, it's kind of easy. Am I gonna burn a bridge here with, Sweet Lee and or am I gonna burn a bridge with the person who's gonna be feeding me? So I mean, that in of itself, a lot of people don't realize, and they're gonna say, how can you not work with somebody outside of that?
On the other hand, and that's exactly what I say also. But the other is, for Kristen, I don't know if she had her client walk in without her, if she hadn't had the conversation with her client about, here's the stack of my business cards. If you happen to walk into an open house or a model home, your job is to hand them one of my business cards. Because remember, the only person sitting behind that desk or on that sofa is representing the seller, not representing you. But your job is to hand that to them. If they're doing that, you're gonna have less of that problem, but if Kristen didn't set them up to do that, you're gonna run into that problem. Then the other part of that is, suck up. I mean, you got an agent out there sitting in model home, whether you're, and this is true on a cross-board agent. Suck up to the other agent. You're gonna do business over and over and over again with these people. Be attractive to them, be kind to them. Be supportive of them. Don't make an enemy of them.
Thank you.
This business is so incredibly small, you guys. The longer you're in it, the more people you know, and the more people you know who you would prefer to work with and people you would rather not work with. And keep that in mind because they have those same opinions about you.
Yeah, and we do voice our opinions to our sellers.
Well, thank you, the three of you. I appreciate you so much and your passion. Thank you. Prostitution, desperation.